Yeah. Okay. So, where to start? Maybe just to pick up on the introduction that Ela gave to me before. So yes, Berliner Gazette does write about commons and kind of like tries to, let's say, cover topics related to the commons. What I find important to emphasize in this context that we also try to do commons or to be commons, you know, not just to work about this topic, but, you know, to kind of live it in the sense that, you know, the way we organize, the way we kind of like produce things, content, etc., etc. I don't go into details. This is another story. This is not my workshop. I just wanted to mention this because it's been just very important for us. So I've been thinking what to propose today as a workshop, and I find this topic, arts and commons, very interesting. I think it's a provocation, a necessary one. And I kind of decided that I would like to come up with something that's kind of like right now, that's kind of very topical. That means, you know, that's concerning me at this very moment. And that's also in a way kind of personal. That's not really very much in the kind of focus of my professional work, but at least, you know, to a large degree, focus of my private work as well. A kind of bridging, of course, the two. So I don't really consider myself an artist, but let's say, you know, we talk about the creative class, we are creatives, and yes, I'm part of that. So as creatives, I think we, once in a while, others more often than others, but participate in, let's say, social movements. We you know, do something in solidarity with struggles, people who struggle. Maybe we initiate maybe some campaigns also in that field, you know, for political kind of like reasons. And so what I think some of the most important initiatives that have been taking place and that many creatives have also participated in the last year has been something, you know, that had to do in solidarity with the refugees that have come to Germany in the, past, let's say, 16, 18 months. I mean, of course, we know that the history of this whole story is much bigger, much longer, but we also know that we had a very kind of like critical mass and moment also experiencing in the past 18 months. So maybe just for a moment a show of hands. Who has in some way or other done something in solidarity with any of the refugee support movements, or with has worked with refugees, or anything like this? Please raise your hand. So, okay, there, we have a workshop. So, because what I want to do basically is, I would love to exchange, you know, some ideas, some experiences in relation to this topic, specifically perhaps also with regard to a situation that I think not so many people have expected. So not so many people have expected that there is a very strong wave of support from the citizens. I think many people were taken by surprise that actually there is so much support from the citizens, the so-called Willkommensbürger, the welcoming citizens. This went around the world. I mean, even the New York Times wrote about it. So. And what I think other people also haven't really expected is that around this welcoming initiatives, like that also emerged around refugee shelters, for example, some communities were emerging that started to create structures and infrastructures and in some way or other commons also. So I've participated in some of those initiatives, and I'm very surprised to see that actually no one, specifically from like the policy government level, has expected this to arise, which I can kind of like, let's say, I see this when I look at the kind of like measures, the policies that are now implemented. So for example, many of the shelters are being closed down now because, you know, people consider them, you know, well, we had those shelters now for 8 or 9 months or 10 months or something, you know, former sports halls, etc., but they're being closed down, and so, you know, we can, you know, send the people to some container villages or something else. But actually around those shelters, communities have been created of couple of thousands of welcoming citizens, you know, creating structures around those shelters. And this is a very, very strange moment in Germany right now, or at least in Berlin, I think, where you have those communities and they really have to struggle to kind of do the next step. Because basically, formally, they're supposed to dissolve. You know, they're supposed to basically say, okay, everybody, 200 refugees in the shelter, 2,000 welcoming citizens around it, mostly from the very neighborhood. Okay, you know, goodbye, see you later. You know, but we have actual structures. We have friendships. We have you know, German classes that are being organized. We have children care work that is being organized, and so on and so on. So this is a very big challenge, and I would like to talk to you actually about what we can do to kind of like sustain some of the structures, sustain some of the communal efforts, you know, because this is a very, very bad, you know, kind of sign for all our efforts and for integration in Germany in general. Yes, sorry.